You're listening to C103's Cork Today podcast. Phone and text lines are currently closed.
And Anneliese of the Health Hub at Times Square in Ballincollig joining us this Monday afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Anneliese.
Good afternoon, Patricia.
And you are very welcome. Let me go straight into kind of a topical question, because there is a lot of COVID out and about. And a listener says, hi, could you ask Anneliese, please? I'm after getting over a bad dose of COVID that has left me over a half a stone lighter and absolutely zero energy. What would Anneliese recommend, please? I am on statin and blood pressure tablets.
Okay, so a couple of things, I suppose, really, Patricia. I definitely think it's important to support yourself after getting COVID, because a lot of people have ended up with long COVID, and for some people that can go on for like months and years. But I think it's perfectly normal to feel whacked for a couple of weeks, and actually I know loads of people myself who've had COVID and they seem to recover after a couple of weeks. So if you can support yourself through those 2 weeks, you'll definitely bounce back quicker. I think you need to take something for the immune system and something for energy. So I'm a big fan of NAC when you're recovering from viral. It's a very powerful kind of anti-inflammatory, really, and it just helps bring down all the inflammation in your system. Particularly good for lungs as well. If the lungs have been congested, it's really good for that. And then in terms for energy, I would recommend the Source of Life Gold. Now, there's a little bit of ginseng in it, so it could be contraindicated for people who've got uncontrolled high blood pressure. But if you're on a blood pressure tablet, it would be fine to take for a month. I just maybe wouldn't take it for longer than a month. And that ginseng is brilliant because you get an immediate bit of energy from that. And then there's a whole load of other superfoods and vitamins and minerals in that will act as a brilliant tonic to bring you back up again. So I think definitely the two of those, the NAC and the Source of Life Gold, and that should get you past the worst of it.
Okay, and someone else who is recovering. Hi, I had my gallbladder removed last week. Is there anything you could suggest, like an enzyme that I could be taking, particularly so soon after an operation? What would you recommend?
Yep, definitely. Really important, I think, to support yourself for digestion, because a lot of people feel, once I get my gallbladder out, I'll be grand, but then they still have a lot of the same problems, particularly with fat digestion. Like the gallbladder is kind of like a little storage reservoir for the enzymes and the bile that we use to digest, to break fat down into tiny little molecules so that we can digest it properly. And if you've gallbladder problems and you don't have enough of those, fatty foods will make you very, very nauseous, could even give you terrible indigestion and pain, and for a lot of people would cause a very runny stool as well. So taking two things I would recommend here. The first is taking a digestive enzyme, particularly designed for fat digestion. And I know that BioCare do one called the artichoke lipase complex, and I think it's absolutely fab. So that's really good. You would take that before your main meals, or meals when you'd expect there'd be a lot of fat in there. So you might need it for breakfast, unless you're having eggs, and you probably don't need it for lunch if you're having a lot of salad and, only a little bit of protein, but definitely take it before your dinner, and that will make a big difference. The other thing as well that could work very well is adding something called lecithin to your breakfast cereal, and this is a really important component of making bile. Eventually, when you don't have the little store, your liver will start making bile and enzymes, and they'll trickle into your digestive tract. It takes a bit of time for the body to adjust and get that going, but taking lecithin to support bile production in the liver would be really good. And it's kind of flavourless, so you could throw it into a yogurt or you could throw it into your porridge in the morning, and it's a lovely one as well for helping with bringing cholesterol down, because a good bile source will help grab cholesterol and get it out of the body.
Okay, any suggestions please on warts? A teenage boy, warts on hand, has had them burnt off, but guess what, they came back. I'm currently using a rub-on that I bought from the pharmacy. I'm just wondering, should it be treated from the inside out? Any ideas would be appreciated from Anneliese. Warts.
Yeah, well, it is a virus. It is actually like a virus, really, Patricia, that most of the time will remain dormant in your system. So, in a way, treating it from the inside, actually, you would think it would make sense, but it's a difficult one, because it's not like generally supporting the immune system. It's really about kind of, I suppose, suppressing the virus. Now, I think the best thing to take for it is a homeopathic remedy called Thuja, Thuja. That can be very, very successful, and that will definitely work from the inside out. And then I know Dr. Clare does a wart cream, and there's Tuya in that. And I've seen that work very well for some people, but unfortunately it doesn't do the trick for anyone. So I do the combination of the two of those. And the other thing then is apparently there's a well down in Timoleague that if you go down and if you drop, I think you have to put the amount of stones into it, Patricia, that you've warts on your hand with a full moon, they should fall off.
And do you believe it?
Well, I think
worth a try.
I think if you do believe it, the power of the mind is an amazing thing.
Yeah, and there's a full moon, John Paul tells me, coming up this week. Is it tonight? Is the full moon?
Off to Timoleague.
Yeah. Okay. Off to Timoleague with you. Okay. Hi, Anneliese. Is it okay to take fish oils with blood pressure tablets?
Yep, absolutely fine, and they'll work very well. The fish oils will do a few different jobs. The omega-3 in there, one of them will be particularly good as an anti-inflammatory, and the other is going to be, the DHA one, is going to be particularly good to keep blood vessels and skin and everything lovely and flexible. And also will help with cholesterol as well, keeping your good cholesterol up. So very, very safe to take with blood pressure, safe to take with a statin, but not safe to take with a blood thinner like heparin or warfarin or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, hi Anneliese. I have tingling in my toes and then at least a very hot feet. Would you have any idea what that problem could be?
Gosh, it could be a couple of things, Patricia, I suppose. I don't know if this person is male or female, but it is quite a common symptom with menopause. And then if that's the case, like working with hormone balance and plant-based estrogens, or HRT could provide some relief. If it isn't a woman, if it's just a general problem, it could be a nerve issue. There's a very good homeopathic remedy called hypericum. It's actually St. John's wort as well. People would know it better as St. John's wort, which a lot of people take actually for depression. But you can't get that here unless it's on prescription. So hypericum is the homeopathic version of it. And that is very good for nerve damage and nerve pain. And a lot of the time when people get that burning sensation, it is a nerve issue. So that could work. And then the other thing, which is more of a long shot, would be maybe an iron deficiency in the diet or magnesium deficiency. If you get your bloods checked regularly, if you've been low in iron in the past, it's likely that it's an iron deficiency. And I would always take an iron with the B complex as well, because they all work together. So the one I love that we have here in the shop is the Nature's Plus Hemoplex. It's got everything in there. So that would be good if you have an iron deficiency. And you could try magnesium, which generally I'd recommend for restless legs. So again, that's even a longer shot, but it might help for the burning feet.
Hi, Mike missed the name of a product that you called out last week. It was for pains. He's suffering with a pain in his knee, and you suggested something that you rub in to a sore knee.
Okay, so there's two ones really. There's one called Pernaton gel that you can get two types. One is cold and one is hot. The hot one I find is great for pain relief, and it just has got some chili extract or pepper extract in there that kind of sinks into the skin, and you get this lovely feeling of heat. Now, it does give a bit of immediate sort of relief, but it doesn't do anything in the long term. And there's also a company called Ultra Pure Labs, I think, and they do a similar one. So either of those could work for that immediate relief. If it's kind of bruised and swelling, I'd go more for the arnica gel and keep that one in the fridge, because cold will work better for bruising and swelling, but heat is always better for pain. And I think, again, work from the inside out. So if it is arthritis related, something like the One Nutrition Joint Factors, very good, or the UC2 cartilage is very good as well. GAL, a company called GAL, they do a UC2 cartilage tablet that's great for that too as well.
Okay, could you ask Anneliese, please, is it okay to take GAL iodine drops long term for borderline underactive thyroid? Also, I'm taking Lion's Mane. How long should I take this for mood and cognitive effect? Does it cause low blood pressure? Do you know?
Okay, so at the Lion's Mane, I suppose first, I think you only take things as you need them. So if you find the Lion's Mane has really helped with mood and with memory, it's safe to take indefinitely. You might want to give it a break, see does the mood or the memory disimprove, and at least you'll know, well, this was definitely working for me. It is safe to take long term, and it's also got other wonderful properties for immune system function. All mushrooms, those medicinal mushrooms, have anti-cancer properties, so they do a lot of jobs, and it shouldn't decrease blood pressure, But there is always a chance, Patricia, people do respond differently to things. If it dropped your blood pressure, it could be that it's helping in some way with circulation for a health benefit. So it is possible. It'd be unlikely, but possible. What was the other part of that question, Patricia?
I've moved on because I've got so many questions.
Iodine.
Yeah, that's it.
Is it safe to take long term for low thyroid? If your thyroid is low because you're not taking, because you don't have enough iodine in your diet, then yes, it is good to take it. But I'm not a big fan of taking iodine long term, because sometimes it could actually, if you were hyperthyroid, it could affect you. If you were hypothyroid, it could affect you. It could push you another way. I would much rather see somebody take a kelp tablet, which has iodine in there naturally, but it also comes along with all the other things that your thyroid needs and lots of other vitamins and minerals in there, and it's food-based. So that would be a safe one to take long-term, because everything is going to be taken in balance in that case.
Okay, and an email in from a female listener, doesn't want to be named, that's fine. Could you mind asking Anneliese any help regard what diet should I follow and any supplements? I've been diagnosed with fatty liver.
Okay, so fatty liver is actually getting extremely common, Patricia. Before, it really would have only been associated with consumption of alcohol. But nowadays we're seeing a lot of it because our diets are very high in sugary foods and carbohydrates. And if these are being stored as fat, they're being stored as fat in the liver. And one of the worst things is that high fructose corn syrup that we get in a lot of processed foods. And don't even start me on the ultra-processed foods rant, Patricia, because it's incredible how much ultra-processed foods we're eating in this country. At least for adults, 50% of our diet is made up of those, and for kids, it's actually as bad as 75%. So people are not eating food, they're eating commercially prepared food, edible products, not food, true food. So I think you need to go back to the whole food diet. Probably, definitely cut out sugar, sugary foods, sugary drinks, any of those sugar alternatives, anything with high fructose corn syrup in it. So any of those processed foods, and go back to a proper, healthy Mediterranean diet is always one of the best ones to follow for everything. And it's really basically made up of real food. And if you really wanted to give it a blast, you could cut down on carbohydrates a lot, and so only eat kind of proteins like fish, meat, poultry, eggs, and lots and lots and lots and lots of vegetables, and keep yourself full that way. And that would work very, very quickly to reduce the fat in the liver.
Okay, all right, really, we leave it there. Thank you for that. Have a lovely week. And we won't talk next week because it's bank holiday. We'll all be having a lie-in.
Have a nice bank holiday.
Same to you. Bye-bye, Anneliese.
Thanks, Patricia.
That is Anneliese Dressel of the Health Hub, Times Square in Ballincollig.